get
Hello.
started.
Hello.
Do you mind?
I don't. Hello.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another Pokemon Movie Club with me, Marty, Sarah B. Joe, and Birdkeeper Toby.
Hey.
Say hello.
I did.
Oh, did you?
Yes, it was a non-verbal hello.
Okay. Today we are going to be talking about the
It is the 8th movie.
the
Well
eighth
done.
Pokemon film, Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. If you haven't seen the film, this may contain spoilers, so watch the film first and then come back and watch this. It is available on DVD if you're in America and Australia, I believe. Unfortunately, it isn't because of licensing and whatever reasons in the UK, but you can watch it for rent or download on iTunes. Did we discover Google Play?
Yes.
Google Play, and Toby rented it on YouTube as well. And also, if you are in the UK, not sure about other places, but there is a Amazon Pokemon subscription for £3 a month, which is like an add-on to Amazon Prime, and you can watch lots and lots of Pokemon stuff for £3 a month, but there is a 7-day free trial. So we very much took advantage of that to watch this film, because it was the second time I've seen it, like, ever.
Did you not watch it on the Twitch Pokemon-a-thon?
No, I think we missed it for
No, I
whatever
watched
reason.
it.
Oh, I think I missed it for whatever reason.
Alright.
Maybe the Twitch Pokemon-a-thon will come back as well. Anyway, Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. Joe, you're going to read us the little...
Oh, you don't want it read in Japanese.
I don't want it read in Japanese. That's good. So we don't have a DVD to read off, so this is the description on Pokemon.com.
Hundreds of years ago, Cameron Palace and its people were saved by the noble sacrifice of Sir Aaron, an Aura Knight. From that day forward, the people have always honoured his deeds with an annual festival. Of course, Ash isn't much of a history buff. He's more interested in the Pokemon competition being held. Only when he wins and is asked to don the ceremonial role of the Aura Guardian does Aaron's importance become clear, especially when Lucario emerges from Aaron's staff. Aaron isn't a hero to this long-dormant Pokemon. All Lucario remembers is the master that betrayed it. Left out of the battle all those hundreds of years before, Lucario is asked to be a hero again. Mew has shown up and whisked Pikachu and Meowth away to the Tree of Life. Only Lucario can lead the way. Can Lucario put aside its distrust of humans long enough to reunite Ash with his best friend?
Lovely dramatic reading there.
Thank you.
Joe. Cool. So, when did this film come out?
It came out on July the 16th, 2005. So, you know, many, many years ago.
That's a long time ago
It
now.
was one of the tentpoles to the delay of Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, because originally Pokemon Diamond and Pearl was due for release in 2005, but in early 2005...
Because this is your July Pokemon movie, and then...
Yeah, in early 2005, it just got shifted away from 2005 in the schedules, and so... You ended up with The Road to Diamond and Pearl, which consisted of this movie, the next movie, Pokemon Ranger, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Red Expedition Team, and Blue Expedition Team. Are they expedition teams?
And they were just
And
drip
Pokemon
feeding
Trozy.
a lot of Sinnoh content.
Yes.
Yeah, it
Right? There was
definitely
like-
felt like they drip that
Yes.
over. Because even in the games, I want to say Bonsly and Munchlax were in
Yeah,
Colosseum.
No, Bonsly and
was-
Munchlax were in Pokemon XD. You could
XD.
battle with Bonsly in the Battle Bingo. In a special bingo.
Something like that.
But I remember, like,
And
it
Munchlax
was in
appeared
that
at
before the actual
spots.
game, which was weird.
Yeah, it was very much that, like, I think Lucario, Bonsly, Munchlax, and Manaphy became kind of the pre-Sinnoh Pokemon. We also saw Electivire in the anime. We
Yeah.
were talking about that moment ago.
But as we mentioned, the
But
new,
Electivire wasn't at this point.
the new Pokemon we
Not
saw
at
in
this
this
point.
film were Mime Jr., Weavile, and Bonsly.
Bonsly. Well, they call it Bonsly, but it's meant to be
Junior.
Bonsly.
Bonsly.
And Lucario.
And Lucario. And, well, because generally speaking, the main front focus Pokemon is typically a legendary, so a lot of people were thinking Lucario was special in some way. I mean, Lucario is pretty cool, but it's not a legendary Pokemon. Very edgy.
They really hit the nail on the head with Lucario. I don't know whether it's because it got its own movie that it like became such a cultural favorite of fans of Pokemon, or whether it was because internally it was like, oh, this is a cool Pokemon we've designed. We should make a movie about this Pokemon. I don't know what it was, but like Lucario really stuck, like in a way that I think Zoroark, which is arguably its Gen 5 kind of,
because that wasn't legendary either.
Kind of hasn't as much. Yeah. Like Lucario, really, people like this Pokemon.
And it is definitely pretty cool. So that was the new Pokemon that we had. Where does it fit in the anime?
It fits in right at the start of the Battle Frontier. It aired literally when the Battle Frontier was 2 episodes in. So just before Ash battled the Battle Factory with Noland and his Articuno.
Mm-hmm. And it is also the last film which 4Kids
dubbed.
Yeah. So Veronica Taylor, Eric
so the last review with most of the original voices, some voices did carry over.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting. I noticed something about this is that the first Gen 4 Pokemon that we saw on screen was Munchlax, right? And that we mentioned that in the last, well, not in the last movie club, but the one before that was the Jirachi movie.
Deoxys.
And it was that's right, sorry, the Deoxys movie. And it was one where we had Munchlax in a movie, and then May caught it. And I remember while watching this being like, oh, is that Bonsly Brock? No, it's not Brock Bonsly. But they did the exact same thing where it was like Bonsly's in the film, and then they made a main.
Same with Mime Jr. because James caught Mime Jr. as well.
I felt the same way because we watched the film this morning again. I felt the same way, like watching back and seeing like Mime Jr. But it's like, oh, but didn't that person have that? Oh, right, not at this point. They get it later on. Yeah, that did.
You were like that with Munchlax last time as well.
Yeah, because I was confused because I remember May catching one, but not at this point. She didn't have one.
I wonder why they made that decision to market a Pokemon in the movie, and then kind of they were like, yeah, we like this Pokemon. We want this to be a face of the region, and so we're going to make sure it appears throughout.
The fact that these main ones are all like related to other Pokemon which already exist was a big thing.
That's another thing, because there was a large block section of the Gen 4 Pokedex, which is all pre-evolutions or evolutions of stuff we already had. When going from a living dex, it's just a quite obvious chunk of things that needed to be done. So I think that's obviously why they did it.
I mean, the next movie is kind of similar, but it does have more new Pokemon in it. But we'll get to that next month.
We'll get to that. Right, so starting off, we have the Welcome to the World of Pokemon, which is a very familiar Tree of Life situation going on. I've definitely seen that somewhere before, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. And what made me uncomfortable with that scene is there was just like stock art flying out of it.
They did that last in the Deoxys movie as well. Not with the Tree of Life, but with their World of Pokemon thing. It was like just stock art flying towards the screen.
It just felt odd, and they could have done something a lot more interesting with it. It just felt like the tree thing was nice, and then it kind of made sense along with the movie, but we'll get on to that. But the whole stock art thing personally just felt a bit lazy. I think we should talk about, as always, the animation first, because they usually do a whole setting the scene, art style situation, usually a 3D situation. And I feel, and this was, you say, the first one that was proper HD.
No, this isn't the first one. It's just the first one we've seen, which is HD, because you had DVDs.
Oh, okay. I thought this was the one that they originally did. All right, okay. I misunderstood what you said there. But I think at this point they have got the animation, the 3D 2D mix spot on.
Almost spot on.
It looked good. Apart from
the dancing
I'd give that maybe an 8, 9 out of 10. Like
on its own it looks fine, but then you suddenly have them animating Max walking through it, and it's like, yeah, that's not great, is it? It's too jarring.
But apart from that bit, I think they got
The battle
the
at the
balance.
start was great with the armies of.
Yeah, the battle was really
Armored
good. And I think
Yes,
people liked
like
the battle
hundreds
because
and hundreds and hundreds of Pokemon. It didn't look.
Yeah.
It didn't look bad. It's like, obviously we're older, we know what animation
I
takes.
also feel like it's the first time that we've seen a war
Yeah.
in Pokemon. Like, and I think there's been mentions of war before this point, Lieutenant Surge, yada yada yada. But I think people liked this film because it started from a place of, we haven't
And
seen
you see
that
the
before.
armoured Pokemon
That's
on screen.
interesting.
That's from the
Yeah.
war. Well, we don't really know what the war was about.
I thought that was from Sword and Shield.
It's not.
Oh.
But I was really amazed at the start of the film with the animation, that the battle scene, like.
As someone who catalogues all the Pokemon in every scene of every movie and episode, it gives me massive anxiety to see that many Pokemon on the screen at once.
But at least you could pause it. 'Cause DVD.
I remember I saw an Onyx and a Steelix clashing head, and I just thought that poor Onyx is so outmatched, like by this clearly
There's
superior
Onyx in the
being.
armour there.
It was cool that segment. They did something really cool. They had that segment was being storybook told by a woman and her child.
Yes! Joe was telling me about
Famously,
this.
This is the first movie that they appear in, but that woman and child.
No, they were in some
I think
earlier
they
movies,
skipped a
pretty
film.
sure.
I think. Don't quote me on this because I've researched this for a video. I think this is.
I think
Have
it's
you
the
actually
first
done
one
a
that they've
video on it?
spoken. It's definitely the first one they've spoken in, but
I think it's the only one they've spoken, or it's one of the few. Which one do you think they've been in before? I'm gonna have to
I
look
think
this
it was
up,
the
but,
Latias and
I
Latios one.
thought. No, I know why you're thinking that though, and it's because I mentioned it. I think in a previous voice call we've got in relation to them being Latios or Latias. It's a whole theory that I was working on. I don't think that if they're in Latias,
Woman
Latias,
and
tell me, 'cause
child
I got a theory that
Pokemon
can
movie.
help.
He just googled that.
But anyway, this Latios and Latias, this lady and her child have appeared in almost every movie and in some episodes.
Yes,
as
definitely
well.
in some episodes.
They've
Yeah,
also
I think you're right. It is the first one.
This
They
appears to be their
appeared in
first
a
movie, then.
spin-off. They appeared in a little Mega Evolution spin-off to do with Mega Latios and Latias, which is it's this thing being hosted by Steven Stone, and he's talking about Mega Pokemon. So they've appeared all throughout
I've
Pokemon
never
lore, and I guess
realised
it's just
this
a nice
before.
Nice little nod from the animators, I guess, to the
Yeah.
animations team. It may be people animating them in every time, I don't know, but it's a weird little bit of Pokemon
Little
lore. I'd
Easter
love to do a
egg.
video and a theory
Yeah,
about
do a
it one
video
day.
on that for
But,
sure. So this is the first time
Yeah.
we see
I can't believe they haven't aged either.
woman and child.
They haven't aged. Yeah.
Not many people do age in cartoons.
Well, I had a theory, a non-working theory, that they were Latias and the new Latias from Pokemon Heroes following Ash around his adventures, but it's not got any legs whatsoever.
Well, Latias doesn't have
Um,
any legs.
So
I'm just suddenly
yes.
reminded of the time they were looking through the scope of the Latias in the Latias movie.
He's just
He was
floating.
walking. Yeah. One thing, the early thing, it's the Ho-Oh transforming into a Mew. I just remember in 2004, 2005, when the first trailer for the movie came out and it was just Ho-Oh flying, everyone's like, oh, this is it, we're getting our big Ho-Oh movie. And it's like, nope, it's a Mew.
And Mew is
No.
great, arguably much better than a Ho-Oh. But yes, thoughts on animation. I think at this point they've nailed it. Like, the 3D isn't too out of place and obvious. It felt smoother. I feel like they've properly got the hang of it at this point. There was, other than the ballroom scene, but I still thought that was okay.
It was
still
just when you had
passable.
it with the other animation, it was noticeable.
But yeah, I think definitely much better animation than we've seen in previous films, which by the 8th film should hope so. So yeah, there's a big war going on, and Lucario gets told to stay put and not go with Sir. I thought his name was Aaron, or not Aaron.
Aaron.
Americans often
Yeah,
pronounce
Aaron.
Aaron as Aaron.
Yeah, it sounded like Aaron. And it seems like this staff is pretty much like a Pokeball, but a staff, and then the staff catches Lucario, so Aaron disappears.
So, but just... Do we think... it's in my head, but I can't remember where I got it from. But the crystals in that, I can't remember if they mentioned it in the movie or not.
I don't think they did, because I was looking after it when you said
crystals being like the elements which are used for Pokeballs in the future. I can't remember where I got that.
Yeah.
I mean, they said to that point was this story was told in a time before Pokeballs. That's how long ago they said it was.
So you might have got that again through Pokemon theories and
watch
that sort of
them.
thing.
No offense, Toby.
But, excuse me. There's a lot of there's a big connection and relationship that people have made between Infinity Energy and Aura, which is obviously a big element of this film. And Infinity Energy is an element used in the construction of Pokeballs, or the way Pokeballs work might have some ties to Infinity Energy. So I think it's a pretty safe bit of speculation.
I think my brain just made that connection because the staff caught Lucario, and it's like the crystals are everywhere.
The staff caught
and
Lucario,
then it said in a time before Pokeballs.
using Aura. So
that's what I think you might have got on to. But yes, then the green aura appeared from the Tree of Beginning, and it transformed everything to...
It destroyed everyone's free will, so that
it gave everyone understanding
and
hope. And understanding and hope.
Destroying their free will. It's enslavement.
But understanding and hope
which is weird.
Good.
But conversely, that also works with the crystals thing being Pokeballs, because you catch a Pokemon, it's no longer hostile towards you.
Well, I mean, it's weird though, because like I feel like Mew on its own should have the power to just end the war, because Mew is like talked about in lore as like the most powerful Pokemon up until Mewtwo's creation. Mew, I'm sure, should have the power to just be like, sleep.
I mean, we kind of find that out at the end of the film, but it would wear Mew out pretty quickly, and it wouldn't last too long, would it? So, as usual, Ash turns up at a new place, and once again there's a special celebration to celebrate a historic event of the town. This feels all very familiar, and
it's every episode.
To celebrate, it's a Pokemon battle competition, which he actually wins.
But he wins it to the coolest musical backing in the world. Which is the
Advanced
which one is it? It's I'm a people.
Yeah.
Is it that one?
Which I'll be honest, I was singing along to throughout. Joe left the room whilst that was happening. So yeah, Ash just happened to wear the same outfit as you see on screen now. Part of the celebrations was everyone like dresses up and stuff. Ash seems to wear the clothes of Sir Aaron.
How convenient.
How convenient.
Which is really weird, because doesn't he find Sir Aaron's gloves later on?
It's a costume.
So did Sir Aaron have like a wardrobe of
It's a replica. It's not the same clothes.
Oh, alright, okay.
I'm sure they just made them looking at paintings and stuff. So Ash wins, and so he gets given the staff of the Guardian to look after, and when they were in the big fancy ball, Lucario escapes from the staff and starts getting all like angry because, well, he thinks Ash is Sir Aaron, but he's not. At this time, Mew steals Pikachu and Meowth. So
that's to defend from the Weavile, which that kid sent out.
Yeah.
Because she seemed like a bad guy, but she's not a bad guy, even though everything that goes wrong in this movie is her fault.
It's totally her fault. Yeah, I was thinking that as well.
Okay, so to protect Meowth and Pikachu, but then Mew doesn't kind of give them back, just kind of should they escape to the Tree of Life, because what's it called?
The Tree of Beginning.
Tree of Beginning, not Tree of Life, that's something else. The Tree of Beginning is where Mew lives, and it literally is like you see all these bubbles coming up from it, and it's where all these Pokemon have lived for thousands of a long time years, undisturbed. And like you see Aerodactyl, for example, and we know that they're not about anymore. So and then Lucario's mad, and then Max is like, I saw a Mew, and Mew's got Pikachu. So then they have to go out and find Pikachu. And along the way... Oh yeah, so this kid... Is kid, isn't it? Not
yes.
kid. So this woman, kid... not sure how we feel about her at first, because it kind of seems like she's doing like dodgy stuff.
As if she's another member of Team Rocket.
Yeah, or like she's a villain.
Team Rocket or
and
something,
she's
yeah.
she's trying to track down Mew. It comes out like she's a world record holder for like a lot of things, and not really a bad guy. In fact, this film doesn't really have a bad guy.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't have a bad guy at all. Lucario's just a little bit misunderstood.
He's very edgy.
But there's no, like, real bad in this film. Which is what I feel like makes this film a bit different as well. There's no, like, evil team to face, or Pokemon Poacher, like the second movie. Like, there's no...
Antagonist.
Yeah, it's just... Mew has taken Pikachu, and Meowth, we have to go get Pikachu back. That's literally what most of the film was. And then at the end of the film, we find out why Sir Aaron left Lucario. I've got written down here, Kid pronounces Pidgeot as Pidgeot.
It's a Pidgeot.
Yeah. That's
Pidgeot.
not.
That's not okay.
That's not okay. Pikachu is referred to as it on multiple occasions, which I thought was weird. When did that happen? There was Japanese theme music. That I know when that was.
Yeah, when Ash was telling about...
On the way to the Tree of Beginning... you can tell this.
No.
You tell this. You haven't spoken for a while, so you can do this bit.
Just someone tell
Well, basically, Ash was telling the story of how he and Pikachu first, became friends, and it flashed back to the first episode. And with that, it had Mizase Pokemon Master, the original Japanese theme tune, playing.
Which is very...
You won't get
weird.
that happen now.
No, it's very weird when you get the Japanese music play. It happened in Jirachi movie as well, didn't it?
Advanced Adventure.
So Ash was explaining, and Lucario's like, no, you can't be friends. Like, you're his master, and, just being all edgy, Lucario. And...
I gotta say, I can't help but feel that this film was a whole jumble of non-connected plots.
Yeah, and that fits very
this
well in what
thing-
I've written down now. Reggie Random.
Right, go on.
There was
Reggie
no
Random.
point.
Okay. You've got Kid is a villain
Not
who's not a
really.
villain, who's just a world famous person for some reason, who is kind of the cause of all the issues by sending these Weavile and these drones. So you've got that plot element. You've got this celebration of an anniversary with a tournament
Which
with a
always
staff
happens.
that has Lucario in it, which happens every year, but Lucario never pops out for some reason. You've got Ash apparently is able to control Aura, and the
Because
Aura
Ash
is
is
an
so
ability
special. He's like good at
because
everything.
he's so special, obviously. So you've got that. You've got Pikachu gets abducted and, like you say, is never returned. And that's just apparently their motivation for going to the Tree of Beginning, which is apparently a thing that seems very important in the Pokemon world and is never brought up again. In the Tree of Beginning, there are blobs that turn into foster
Yeah,
Pokemon.
I don't get why.
That never really made
get
sense.
mentioned
Why
or used
they were
again.
kind of like antibodies, I think.
Yeah,
they
and
described
like when
them
they
to-
were going through
to
on the
destroy.
bubbles, it's like, that's clearly a vein. You're
Yeah.
clearly going through a vein.
But
Right.
why they had to look like fossil Pokemon, I
Why
didn't
that's
understand
relevant?
that.
And then you've got this Edgelord Lucario element, which is that's that story going on under it all. Meanwhile, Brock is just being classic Brock, and that's and just being a total love-eyed for kid who I still don't know really why she was at the party. If she wanted to look for Mew, why wasn't she at the tree of beginning in the very beginning? Too many beginnings. And then you've got the Reggies just to add into it.
They're on the way to the tree of beginning, and
Why not?
Regirock appears, which I was like, all right, I wouldn't have put Regice.
And they do the worst thing. They call
Regice. It's
Regice.
Regice in Japanese. That's what the name should be, but because it doesn't work in English, you can't do it.
Which is why.
But it should be Regice, even though it's now Regice. It should be Regice. You've got Regirock, you've got Registeel, you've got Regigigas. Then you got Regice.
Start a hashtag, Joe.
Bring back Regice.
Bring back Regice's eye.
Yeah. Even though it doesn't work in the English language to have two eyes like that, really, I believe. But yeah, and that's the annoying thing, talking of Regice, is when Ash enters the Tree of Beginning and stuff, Regice then appears to try and stop them. And it's like, why would a Regice be in that...
Regice.
Tomato. Why would it be in that environment? It's
defending it.
Yeah, but it's a big block of ice and it was in the middle of like a forest.
The three
type thing.
golems are defending it.
Yeah, but it kind of doesn't make sense. Like, if you think about where they are in the games, it doesn't... To me, having a Regice there like that didn't make sense.
Marty, where do you catch Regice in Horas and Ruby and
I'm
Sapphire?
trying to remember.
Route 105 in the island cave.
Why isn't it with ice? I don't know.
Because it's Hoenn.
Just to me, it should have been with like icy stuff and snow, and it would be better suited to that environment. Then Reggie still appeared, and it's like, I don't really get why they're here, other than the fact the writers probably thought we should probably put some legendaries in this.
But we haven't had the
They
Reggies
never
yet.
had
They're
Raikou
like-
until the Zoroark movie. Just saying.
Yeah. Raikou never really had his day. Entei had a movie. Suicune had a game.
And a movie. It was a big part of the Celebi movie.
Yeah. It was in I Choose You as well, wasn't it?
All three of them were.
Yeah.
Can't remember now.
Don't worry,
But yeah,
we'll get to
I
that
just
next
thought
year.
the Reggies being in this felt very forced.
You know what else was
and
forced?
Also, there was no...
Can I just
At
say
the
what
end of
else
the
was
film-
forced? The time flowers. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
they're just conveniently
Conveniently
here.
placed.
Right,
Oh,
the perfect time.
Yeah, and then that was a weird little bit of plot convenience. Like,
I mean, if you
Yeah,
had seen
why
them
not?
dotted about in the rest of the movie, then it'd be fine. But you only see 3 in the entire movie, and they're all right there, right when they needed them.
Yeah, right where things happened. Yeah, it did seem very convenient. And also, there was no... What makes this Pokemon film different to other Pokemon films, there was no big end of the film battle, really. Like, you get the big legendary Ash's Pokemon fight thing going on. There was really none of that. The action was these antibodies trying to absorb all the humans.
I mean, with that though, it probably had some of the more emotional beats which have been in Pokemon.
Oh yeah,
Like
definitely.
James releasing his Chime Echo, that speaks to James's character. You think he's a bad guy, but no, he really cares.
And they pretty
and then
much all
Ash
did that.
just releasing his Pokemon and saying they
I
love
love you.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh, that's sadder than the Mewtwo movie.
It was pretty sad. 'Cause, well, what would you do if you were being absorbed by a big antibody virus thing? Like, you don't know that Mew is just going to bring you all back to life. Which goes back to
you don't
what...
know you're in a movie. Although Team Rocket actually do know that they're in movies. We established
Yeah.
that in number 3, but...
On the big screen. But like Toby said earlier, like, why can't Mew just fix everything? Like, Mew tried to fix everything
And
at the
it
end
wore
of the
him
film,
out.
and it wore him out. And then the
It's
only
out.
wore it out, and the only way to fix it was the aura, which Ash suddenly gained magical powers
Ash learned Aura Sphere, come on.
to
He
'cause
clearly
they
must
found-
have reached level 72
They
or
found
something
Sir
like
Aaron's
that.
gloves, and Ash, with the aura that he apparently has, made a big bubble, and then Lucario's like, okay, I'll continue making the bubble, and fixes everything. I don't know, it is just a bit weird.
Bit disjointed. That said, I didn't not enjoy
No,
it.
It's a good
it's
movie.
different.
It looked very cool.
It was different.
It looked
And I'm
very,
pretty sure you
very
can
cool.
have a movie without there being villains and bad, and it's just kind of a misunderstanding. You want to bring up about the Lucario's
Yeah,
aura,
the aura.
'cause Lucario sadly does not make it, and then everyone's like, oh, that's really sad, but Ash is like, Lucario lives on through me, or whatever. What does he say? I will
Basically
remember
that.
Lucario, and Joe informs Lucario does come
Well,
back.
Lucario doesn't come back. It's just
Or-
Ash's aura capabilities do appear later on in the Sinnoh episode where Pokemon
Riolu.
Ranger and Riolu, what's it called? And the kidnapped Riolu.
Okay.
So it's not a one and
do-
done
So
thing.
it is brought back up in the main series.
Interestingly, on IMDb,
Oh,
one
you
of the-
love
I love the
IMDb.
IMDb bits.
Oh, it's great. One of the bits of the trivia for this movie is I've just lost it, but it's that Lucario's name sounds similar to Lucas, as in George Lucas, and there also appears to be this supernatural force called Aura, which is
Yeah,
much
I
like
did
the
make a few
Force.
jokes about that. So the aura is with me. It's like, okay.
Alright. Okay. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, overall I felt like it just proved that you didn't need all the massive over the top legendary battle, because for me personally I kind of get a bit bored sometimes when the big epic battles happen at the end. Sometimes I feel like they just go on for a long time, and maybe it's because I'm older now and I can't appreciate the pew 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 rah stuff,
How
like
dare
the
you?
big legendary battles. Then again, we did see Godzilla the other day, and that was
Yeah,
that was
and
pretty
in
cool.
what, in like 10 months, you know, we're going to be talking about the Pokemon equivalent of that.
Joe's convinced there's going to be like a Pokemon.
No, I'm talking about Hooper and the Clash of Ages.
Oh, okay. But Joe also wants to see a Pokemon like Godzilla movie with massive Pokemon.
Especially now
badass.
we've got Dynamax.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that'll
Legendary. Have
Dynamax Primal Groudon just ruining everything.
massive Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool. But yeah, sometimes these legendary battle scenes at the end, personally, I feel like they can go on a bit, and I've kind of stopped caring at that point. But this film didn't have one, and I don't think it was any less of a film for it because of it. When we were tweeting out about this movie club, there was a lot of attention, like more attention than most other
People
films.
like Lucario.
I don't know, do people like Lucario or do people like this film?
People like Lucario.
People like
I think
Lucario.
it's people like Lucario.
People like-
because structurally, while the film looked good,
Yeah, plot-wise, it really was not actually anything
It
special.
wasn't. No, like it was okay, but I don't think it was great. It felt very unnecessary. Like it's the same old thing. Ash goes to a town. There's a special event celebrating a thing that happened a long time ago, and it's just yeah. Oh, and also got to talk about the fact that Sir Aaron, whatever you want to call him, in-game counterpart Riley in Diamond and Pearl, who gives
And Platinum.
He
Gives
gives
you
you
a
a Riolu egg,
egg. Yeah.
and he has a Lucario. They look the same. And I always thought it was the same person, and I was always very confused that they didn't have the same name, or, but they are pretty much the same person.
It was a nice reference.
It was a nice reference. What do you think came first?
Well,
Because-
the game came out September 28th, 2006, and the movie came out on July 16th, 2005.
Yeah, but do you think they were already...
I don't think so.
I think Riley was an afterthought.
Yeah, a reference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like put in after the film.
Well, there's a theory for Toby.
It's interesting that given
Climax the movie.
how popular Lucario was, how hard they made Lucario to obtain in the Generation 4 games, they obviously made it so that everyone would get this
Yeah.
Riolu egg, but it's so late in the game. Like, they did not make it super accessible. You know, one
Because
of
you
per
had
game,
to you had to go on the boat, didn't you?
From
to,
Planet Leaf
to
City,
the
yeah,
island, but you
to
could
Iron
only do
Island.
that after the
The
Elite
sixth
Four.
badge. No,
The sixth badge.
Yeah.
This is a long time ago, and I've not replayed it.
I don't think you even need to go out.
No, you don't.
To potential side. No.
You can skip
Yeah.
it.
No, you didn't have to go
No.
out there because it was definitely an end game thing that I was like, well, where do I get Lucario then? Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they're all level 30.
Good, I know.
So yeah, that was a nice little nod in the game because that was the only way you could get Riolu, really, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. What else did I write down? So yeah, Reggie's from random. In the credits, Joe, what did you see?
I spotted Butler and Diane from the Jirachi movie.
And this is why you should always watch
you
the
did?
credits of
I
a
did.
Pokemon film because
And you know what? I was thinking of your voice as I was kind of like half glancing at it, going, "Oh, I should really." I do remember Marty saying this last. Okay, but I was kind of doing other
was on
stuff while I
Snapchat.
was.
I bet he's on
watching it.
Snapchat.
So I missed. It's very possible.
But the Pokemon credits
So I
just
missed.
tell more story afterwards,
Always
and
watch
like
them.
It's like the sudden appearance of Lucario in the painting. That's in the credits.
yeah, and also yeah, sometimes I think some of the stuff in the credits were meant to be in the actual film because you could see like Ash's mouth moving and stuff. It's like, was that just meant to be in the actual film?
It wasn't.
Sometimes you gotta
Ash's
wonder,
mouth
though.
is moving because, you know, they're meant
the
to
way-
be characters who
But the
speak.
way that frame was shot was quite close up, and it just made me feel like that was meant to be a talking scene in the film.
I think it was.
But that's just how I feel looking at the credits.
There's many credit scenes where the characters are talking.
I just felt more so in this one. You saw more talking.
Fight.
Fighting. Um,
Fight.
but yes, I guess, Joe, do you have any more to add? Toby, do you have any more to add?
Not really. It was pretty good.
It was
Pretty good. It was okay. It was a good time. We all had fun. And the real Lucario was the friends we made along the way.
And Mew is awesome. I don't think we spoke about Mew enough. Mew is awesome. I
Mew
love
is adorable. Again, no relationship to the Regis
No,
or Lucario
I
in
don't
any
even
sense
know
of
why
Pokemon
Mew,
lore.
why
But
it had to be
sure.
Mew, or
Why not?
and I don't really know why. Nothing was really mentioned about Mew was a bit of a collector of toys and had just loads of toys to play with in the Tree of Life, which that didn't really get addressed.
And kidnapper
of
of Pokemon,
Pikachu and Meowth.
Yeah.
And then Mew's like, look at this toy, Pikachu, look at this toy, look at this toy. And Pikachu's like, okay.
It's like whenever I invited friends round when I was young.
Yeah. Or when on Skype, when we Skyped, and I'd have like cool stuff. Like, Joe, look at this cool collectible Pokemon thing I have. And then you'd be like,
Yeah,
okay.
great.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, I think it was
Solid.
It wasn't the worst. I think by this point, I can give a massive thumbs up with getting the animation up to scratch and not too weird and mismatched. Like the 3D and 2D work at this point. Hopefully, going forward, that continues. And it just goes to show you don't need to have villains and big old epic Pokemon battles.
But unfortunately, that doesn't happen again for a while.
I think pretty much the rest of the films do have them, really.
What I will say is I usually at this time like to give an IMDb review of the film. And looking through the user reviews, all of them are super positive. Like, the only negative one on here, I think, is like 4 out of 10. Not the worst Pokemon movie.
You see the Amazon reviews.
But not a good movie. Generally, it's, people like this one.
Yeah. But again, it's like...
Because
Did
it's
they
the last
actually
4 kids one.
And did they actually like the film, or did they just like Lucario? Sometimes I feel like sometimes people can't. They'd be like, "Oh, I love the main Pokemon of this film," and forget the storyline would be
Isn't
not
that like
so
you
great.
in the Victini movie?
Yeah, great film with Victini's in it. No, I don't know how we're even gonna review that one because black and white films.
It's the same plot.
Yeah, so maybe
we're gonna picture it.
Maybe Toby watches one and
we're gonna picture and picture it.
Oh man, 2 films at the same time.
Oh, we have to watch them all. Yeah.
Effort. It's just like.
Picture, it's fine.
Or just watch them back to back.
Picture in picture. It takes less time.
But we've got a few months before we get onto that anyway.
Yeah. 5.
So yes,
5.
we're all thinking it's.
Yeah, it's good.
Mid
okay.
high thumbs up. It's.
Yeah. 6,
7.
6.
Yeah, I can't really give it much on.
6, just because it looked cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I feel like 6 is harsh, but I feel like I
That's
couldn't give any
because
more than
people
a 7.
tend to make it so 6 is like one of the worst scores you can give something. That's why 6 seems harsh.
Middle.
6 is good. 6 is a good score.
Yeah, it's just over halfway. It's like, yeah. I enjoyed this. I wasn't enthusiastic about it.
It
but I
wouldn't be in my
enjoyed it.
top 3 Pokemon films.
No, that'd be Detective Pikachu.
Probably wouldn't even
Detective
be in
Pikachu,
my top
Detective
5.
Pikachu.
There's only one film. But next film
is Pokemon Ranger and the Temple of the Sea.
Oh, it's going to be so painful.
I think I might have caught this
So
one
painful.
on Twitch when
I
it
think you did.
replayed. But for those who
I don't think
didn't,
Toby likes it.
unfortunately,
I will tell you that story next time.
looking forward to that.
But
We do have the same issue in the UK. Unfortunately, this one's not on DVD, but you can rent it on Amazon, iTunes, and Google Play and YouTube, apparently. Or, Pokemon Prime on Amazon Prime, a Pokemon subscription, £3 a month, or a 7-day free trial. So, Joe and I will be making use of our free trial and watching that one tomorrow. And also, starting with this one, you can get it in manga form as well, which is available physically, and you can also get it on Amazon Kindle Comixology. You can get it digitally, and that's so cool. Probably on Google Play as well. I need to double check that. But yes, if you like manga, the Pokemon movie manga is also definitely worth checking out. I know I had a few of the Pokemon mangas before they were released on DVD, just because it's the same story, and it's, it's just a different way of consuming the same story. And we will be doing this show on... Who's remembered?
July 19th, I remember everything.
Friday, July 19th. So 4 weeks' time, we'll be back here talking about
Pokemon Ranger and the Temple of the Sea.
Pokemon Ranger and the Temple of the Sea. And
Ooh.
I believe that's everything we have to say. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you're watching on YouTube what you think of this film, and remember to watch Temple of the Sea for 4 weeks time. And so this is where we're going to say goodbye on YouTube, but stick around on Twitch for a little bit of a post show. So until next time, see ya.
Bye.
See ya.